So, hello everyone. Welcome back to another WE-CAN Virtual Café. I'm thrilled that you are here. This is a fun topic today. We're going to be talking about creating workshops that convert. And I know for a fact, because I can see some of your faces, there's a bunch of you on the call today who have held some successful workshops, and we can learn from you. If you're like me, you may have hosted hundreds and they didn't all go well. And we also learned from those experiences. So today is a chance for us to interact, to share. But just as we're getting started, I do want to introduce myself. My name is Kerry Ramsay. I am the project manager for the WE-CAN project, which serves and supports women entrepreneurs across the greater Kingston region and beyond, of course. We are led by Queen's University. And so why don't you take a moment in the Zoom chat right now? This is a great opportunity to learn, but also to network. So if you would like to drop your particulars into the Zoom chat, let us know where you're connecting from, what your business is. If you have a Zoom link, or sorry, not a Zoom link, a website link or a LinkedIn link, any link pretty much. We'll also later on be inviting you even to share if you have an upcoming workshop link. So we would love to hear about those. For now, though, it might be a good idea just to sort of, use this opportunity to say hi and who you are so we can get to know you a little bit better. And thank you again for joining us today on this, what is promising apparently in my region to be a snowy day. I heard the word snowmageddon thrown around a little bit, which always makes me nervous, but hopefully it will just be a mild dusting. So as we are going, and some of you are already doing so, thank you for connecting in the Zoom chat. I will acknowledge that Queen's University is situated on the unceded territory of the Huron, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. And I thought that today, as a part of our land acknowledgement, I would acknowledge a couple of our new Indigenous clients. And so Jenny and Amber have come to us from the Cataraqui or Kingston region. And their business, which I'll share it in this chat. I thought I had it saved there. Their business is called Okwari. I want to make sure I pronounce that right. Okwari Creation, and Okwari is Mohawk for bear. And they are an Indigenous arts and crafts company, and they offer workshops in the Kingston region, Belleville region, Prince Edward County, not only to Indigenous elders and youth, but also to non-Indigenous folks. And so they had recently posted in the WE-CAN Facebook groups, and I just loved it. It just lit up with people that were interested in bringing them into their organization. So I'm going to just go grab that link so that you could check out their Facebook group if you'd like. I was just telling some folks, I don't have my mouse with me today because I'm off site. And that's always fun when you're trying to do things with your keyboard. But there we go. It, I believe, worked. And so there's their Facebook group, their Facebook page for Okwari Creation. Welcome, all of you who are joining us. It's so great to have you. If you haven't already introduced yourself in the Zoom chat, please take a moment to do so. So let's dive into the discussion today, which of course is on what it takes to create a workshop that converts. And so the first question that I want to throw out to the group, and I think that let's just set up a protocol here. If you want to use your reaction button, which is on the bottom of your screen that says react, and there's a heart, but if you click on that, I believe you can raise your hand and do all sorts of things. Raising the hand is what we're looking for today. Or you can raise your physical hand and just hold it up in case if you want to participate, if you can't find that react button. And we're going to try to keep our answers to about 2 minutes so that everyone in the group can participate. And of course, I have more than one question, so we can get to as many of those questions as possible. All right, so review of the protocol. If you want to use your reaction button, and let's try to keep our discussion or our comments to about 2 minutes so we can get to everyone. The first question I have then really is fundamental, which is, what is a conversion for you? What does that mean? When you host a workshop, what are you looking for? Is it a sale? Is it someone to sign up for your newsletter? Like, where do you typically lead them? Because I think it's important for us to, first of all, be clear on that. What is the conversion? And so if you want to use your reaction button, go ahead and we'll just sort of get some ideas, because some of you might have signed up for this workshop not even being quite sure on that. So let's get some ideas from the group as to what your conversions have been maybe in the past. And so I will wait for someone to put up their hand. And if not, I'm coming for you because I know some of you who hold workshops. All right. What are some thoughts on that? Yeah, Erica, go ahead. Start us off today.
Hey, thanks for having me. And for me, in the past, I have given workshops on how to write a website bio. And for me, a conversion is somebody seeing how to do it and realizing I just want it done by a professional, and then I will do it for them.
Yeah, I love that. And so the conversion then would be to reach out to you to say, "Hi, Erica, can you help me?" Okay, I
That's
love it.
right.
So maybe just that initial contact. All right, somebody else. And it doesn't have to be too difficult. Susan, go ahead. I
Hi.
loved it. You raised both the hands. Fantastic.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see some folks again and to meet new people. I'm having my first sold out 1 day retreat this
Way
weekend.
to go.
I know. I'm very excited. I've been nervous about doing retreats because when I look at places big enough, I'm not answering the question. The question is conversion. I'll
Yeah.
stick to the question. Conversion is when people join me, sign up for my email list, and keep
Okay.
coming back. And I need to create
Nice.
enough. Like I think of the people coming this weekend, 80% of them are people who are coming back. So it's converting them so they
Ooh.
become followers and want to keep coming back for different things that I'm trying to create.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And that simple bridge from the workshop to the email list, also you mentioned, which I love. Emily, over to you. I know you've had some cool experiences recently. What does conversion look like for you?
I was going to say signing up for my newsletter is
Yeah.
like the piece at the end. And
Okay.
then here's another workshop I'm doing, and then they sign up for that one. Or coaching, hopefully, that's
Yeah.
more lucrative than another workshop.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I love it. Okay. But natural, sort of that natural logical flow to a next step. Lisa, over to you. What is a conversion like for you?
A conversion is a sale, like someone
Nice.
has joined my workshop. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that and tell us a little bit about that sale because I know Lisa, you could tell us what you do, but you have different price points. So
Right.
I'm assuming it's maybe not the highest price point that you're selling out of the workshop, but maybe it is. What is the
Yeah.
sale? Tell us a little bit more about that.
It is actually the most expensive
Okay,
sourdough class that I have that and it sells out almost every month.
nice.
I like in November I have 7 classes and every class is 8 people in it. There's one
Okay.
that has 10 and there's only 2 spots left, which is this
Wow.
Saturday. So
I
the
love it.
closer I get to Christmas, the people
Yes.
start to get
The
a little
people
bit.
need the sourdough. And
Yeah,
by the
so
way,
now
hopefully
I'm
Lisa's link is in the chat.
yeah. So now it's like a sale, like a gift card would also be at this time, it
Yes.
would be gift cards and
Yeah.
future classes
Oh,
and
I
things.
love that idea of the gift card at this seasonal time. That's brilliant. Okay, thanks, Lisa. Cheyenne, over to you. Hello.
There we go. There's the button. So I like to look at it as having two goals. One is audience growth and one is revenue. So I have two conversions. One
Okay.
is a 30-minute conversation to help qualify and direct, and then the other one is getting on my email list. So I always look at a secondary and a primary.
Okay. And why, for some people in the group, it might be like, why this email list? Like, do you want to explain that, Cheyenne? Like, why is that such an important conversion to think about? And some people are like, I don't have even a newsletter. What would I do with that? Why is that key? Because I agree.
Yeah, email list, two reasons. Psychologically, if someone has bought in, they're expressing interest, so the relationship is growing. And then logistically, you own that contact and you will always land in someone's inbox. All other forms of communication, you don't own it. And there's a lot of variables. So both of those are really important.
Love it. If you need marketing coaching, Cheyenne's the one to tell you more about that. I love it. Neeraja, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. What does a conversion look like for you?
You said my name correct.
Oh, I'm so excited. That just made my day.
I'm so happy. Um, my conversion rate is, I am having difficulties, of course, filling my workshop, but my one is like I do a 15 minutes follow-up, so I expect people to join my 15 minutes to learn more about them and they can
Nice.
learn more about me, kind of an clarity call. Then we can
Okay.
decide whether I can help them or they can help me, something like that. So
Brilliant.
I am expecting people to conversion comes later, but I want to
Yeah.
see if people can sign up for that 15 minutes clarity
Yeah.
call to
So you're getting
understand
them
me.
on the pathway though to the sales. So, and I think sales is a pathway. So I think that I'm assuming you're saying that's a free 15-minute clarity call, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
brilliant.
yes.
I love that. Okay, fantastic. Zion, go ahead. I saw, is it Zion or
Xeon.
Zyme?
Yes,
Zion.
Xeon. Yes,
Bio, love that. Okay, go ahead. Tell us,
yes.
what does conversion look like for you? And then we're going to move on to our next question.
Okay, yes. So conversion looks like for me going from like my free tier of my Facebook group or my Substack into having an actual ultimate vision clarity session with me and or a one-on-one transformational coaching session where we align to see what type of program would be sufficient for your transformation that you want to achieve.
I love that. Yeah, so beautiful. That pathway, that logical, guiding them along. And you also mentioned a Facebook group, which nobody has mentioned yet. And to me, also, if you're hosting a workshop, that could be a place like, hey, join us in this community. And I'm assuming that might be a free community as well.
It
Or
is.
maybe, yeah, okay. So leading them from, let's say, if it's a free workshop to another free alternative, like the newsletter, the community is also sometimes great because you're like, okay, this person is building, deepening their interest and their trust in what we're talking about. So I think that's fantastic. Thank you for that, Ziani. Okay, so let's move on here to some of you folks who have held, let's say, a successful workshop. And don't worry, I'm coming to the other side of that coin in just a moment, which is, of course, the unsuccessful ones that we've pretty much all had. Who has had a successful workshop, I would say lately, that's led to a conversion? And tell us what maybe some of those elements were in the workshop that made it so, that you believe were kind of key to helping that workshop convert. Because I think there's some people in the call really interested in like, yeah, I keep hosting these, people either don't show up or they don't convert. So would anybody like to start us off on that? Don't be shy, even if you've spoken already. People I know hold back, but that's okay. I just want to make sure I'm not following the Zoom chat right now. I'll check it later, and if I missed anybody's question, I'll get to that hopefully. Victoria, kick us off. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would say the biggest key to the conversion from the workshop to my path, which is newsletter, mailing list, and then sales, is the interaction and engagement during the workshop. It is absolutely the Q&A,
Mm,
engagement, the interaction, the ability to be able to prove in the moment that they know I can absolutely help them.
yeah. And Victoria just did a workshop for the We-CAN project. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, Victoria. It's like this month it's all a blur to me. But it was so interactive. And you're right, when you can engage the brain of the people who actually did show up for the call, it suddenly becomes a conversation and your relationship building, not just talking at them, which never is as successful. Okay, that's brilliant. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It's a great tip for somebody who maybe is just starting out. Emily, go ahead. I think I saw you in the Zoom chat. Are you able to go off mute and just maybe, was that an answer to the question?
I didn't have my hand up, but I do really feel like when people come to the workshops, they really get a sense of me. Like they get a
Yeah.
sense of my style, how I hold space, and then they're like, yeah, I like this vibe.
Yes. So getting to know you better. Joy, I saw you nodding your head as well. Maybe that was something you were thinking of, but go ahead. Tell us, for you, if you held a successful workshop, what were some of the elements that made it successful to leading to a conversion?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. For some reason,
Hi.
I'm struggling with my Zoom today, so I've been in and out.
Okay.
So for me, it's getting them involved and also giving them a mini transformation on the call.
Yes.
So I am not just trying to sell them, I'm giving them a transformation on the
Good.
call. And I'm also weaving in testimonials. So I play
Mm,
video testimonials in my presentation. So they see all of these people talking about
nice.
how they've had success in my program. And so they are already sold. And like a lady said, I actually sell high ticket on the call. So people sign up 10K on the call. And it's just amazing how, and I use a structure, right? And ChatGPT can help you design the structure of your workshop. But ultimately, I give a mini transformation on the call, and then I invite them to come work with me.
I love that, Joy. Give them a win. And it's like, if she can do this for me for free, what can she do for me for fee? Right. And then leading to giving them those options. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Joy, for that. Brilliant. And then you also mentioned using AI, right? If somebody is stuck, and I mean, obviously you have the option of hiring somebody to help out with that. In the WE-CAN community, of course, our coaching is free. So if you are a member of WE-CAN, I can also do one-on-one coaching with folks. But if you can't, you have some options, online as well that are opportunities for you. So thank you for flagging that. That's brilliant. Thanks, Joy. Shauna, over to you. What are some elements of a successful workshop that can help lead to conversion?
One is not doing too much information overload,
Yes.
but identifying problems that they have and solutions that they have not thought about, but then selling the how is that conversion. So for myself, whether it was getting them into a course or a one-on-one
Mm,
package, identifying what they didn't have and what I could offer to fill that gap.
I love that. And so how long are your workshops, Shauna? Just to give us an idea.
I usually try to keep the me talking information piece to 35, 40 minutes, and
Nice.
that gives us like 20 minutes for the participants to talk to each other because they're sharing their own experiences, but also to ask questions.
Yeah, I love that. And like a 1 hour free workshop in our current culture seems to be very acceptable. 90 minutes. Also, like usually WE-CAN workshops are 90 minutes, which gives us a little bit extra time for interactivity. But I love that. In a 1 hour, like one thing I tend to suggest is that we have no more than 3 points. Like it's like the rule of three. Like we can't absorb more than three things anyway. So teach us something, show us an example. I love that Joy said weave a testimonial into it. Here's and then give them a win. So yeah, keeping it simple, I think, is absolutely key. Love that. Yashi, over to you. Tell us, what are some of or what is one or two elements that come when you create a successful workshop that leads to a conversion?
Yeah, so I, in the past month, have gone from not having very effective workshops to ones that convert. And I think one of the biggest things that has helped me is being able to create a bridge between the expertise that I have and using the challenges that the audience is facing and being able to communicate that in a way that they hear that and they go, yes, this is me. I totally want more of this. And so they sign up because I'm speaking to what they are really struggling with. And it has taken me a long time to make this transition, but that has been really effective. And I would say
Yeah,
another element is a lot of this, my work is born out of my own personal struggles. And so there is an element of vulnerability and authenticity that people can just totally relate to. And that is
right.
also something that draws them in.
Your personal story, right? And again, that is, I mean, I think that let's not breeze past that, right? An effective and an authentic workshop ultimately isn't us just pointing to other people who have done things or, textbooks that have, written about, but let me tell you about my experience. I mean, there's that relevant and connection that happens and trust that builds when it's our personal story and people get it and say, you know what, I'd really rather work with somebody who has been through this, not somebody who just, you know, whatever, assembled the academic knowledge about it. Okay, thank you for that, Yashi. That's brilliant. Cheyenne, over to you next. I would love to hear. I know you've done a lot of workshops. Tell us, what are some of your insights?
I do think it definitely depends on if it's product or service based. Like there's a lot of variables there,
Sure.
but in general, setting it to create clarity from confusion. People who are
Mm,
ready to invest, if they're on a workshop, it's because they're still confused and they're in problem awareness where they know they have a problem, but they haven't felt like they found the right solution. So if you can use that time with them to help them feel really understood and to really understand what their problem is and how it connects to the solution, that it's such a beautiful use of time. My first weekend workshop, which was the first workshop I ever did, I've tracked the ROI from it, and it's up to 38K at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
I just had a lead come in
Brilliant.
from Australia, so it might go up even further. And that was 2 years ago. Like
Yeah.
ROI on workshops is genius. If you can create clarity for people with that know, like, and trust, but also connecting exactly to where they are, that really, really converts.
Yeah, and that is a win. Like when someone had said earlier, like if you can get them a win in that workshop, if you just get them clarity, like they're, oh my gosh, suddenly this makes a little more sense. Let's go further. I love that. Thank you, Cheyenne. Oh, brilliant as always. And I wanted to zero back because I forgot to mention something that Shauna touched on that I wanted to highlight because I think this is useful for all of us as well. Is sometimes people get caught up like, what do I do in the free workshop versus the I don't want to give everything away for free. And I forget, Shauna, if you put it exactly this way, but this is the way I heard it, was that often we talk about the why in the free workshop, and then the how is what they pay for, right? And so there's that distinction. Like we don't give away everything in the free workshop, but we demonstrate the why this is important and get them clarity and a win, as has been said. But we don't necessarily need to give everything away that we're going to teach or share. So, Shauna, I think you sort of mentioned that, but I wanted to highlight that. Anne, would love to hear your thoughts on successful elements of a workshop that converts. What are your thoughts?
So here are my thoughts that I've done none, and that's why I attended today. I've
Great. Yeah.
participated in several, but I did kind of just want to put some questions out there. I'm a person who never
Yes.
wants to lose the opportunity to learn from others. So my work is very end of life, grief, and death focused. So people come to me in need. So mailing lists are not the best. Really, mailing lists, when you talk about death and dying, really go to other people who work in death and dying.
Sure.
I belong to many of them. So
Yeah.
it's really, for me, I think I'd be curious if you guys have found that in conversation and in sessions that you've had, it sparked ideas of other sessions that people could probably really use where things are repeatedly asked about. I know that I have asked presenters, hey, do you do something on this? And if not, would you consider it? And so I'm wondering if that's been the experience, or Kerry, if that's something that is a conversion option for some of these.
So just so that I understand, like you're asking when people ask questions or say, do you do this? Is that the opportunity to create a product or a service that answers that need?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you use it as market research almost. I would say,
Yeah.
okay, let me throw that out to the group. Yeah, I would love to hear if someone has had that experience. Have you found yourself creating something that maybe somebody asked about in a QA, or like that question didn't even occur to me? Or yeah, Jade, go ahead.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Constantly. Like that's I find too, because the people I'm converting right now, I find typically are like organizations, like associations, large organizations who want to bring knowledge to their members, their group. Like, so a lot of people will come in looking to solve a problem, right? And then as you're talking, they pick up on that connection, that piece that they realize, oh, this might get me the result I'm looking for with my members, or my members are looking for this outcome. This person might be able to give me that. Constantly, I always have people asking me about, can you create this? And the answer is typically always yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that it's one of the best ways to keep evolving as a business owner. And I'm not saying like you leave your lane and take an off ramp into a totally unrelated domain that's maybe not your specialty and not your passion. But I think that if there is a way to package something, we often will call them like containers. Like this sounds like this person is interested in group coaching. I don't have a group coaching program. Maybe I could explore that. or other forms that come up. And I see that Wendy has dropped, by the way, thank you, Wendy, for dropping the Facebook group. I saw that flash by. You dropped that in there. And she has a comment about newsletters for you, because sometimes, like, and again, the newsletter thing, I don't want to lose sight. It's sometimes just the way that we package that newsletter, right? Could it be, not necessarily news, but maybe some sort of comfort? It could be, ways of moving through grief, I think, as Wendy had said. I love that. Okay, so yeah, I think the answer is yes to your question.
Yeah, because to me, that would be, again, I have some trepidation even about newsletters. People receiving
Sure.
things about loss in their mailbox when they're in loss can often be really triggering.
Yeah, it could be triggering. Yeah.
So
yeah.
But that aside, I do think there's opportunity to continue to grow and offer things
Absolutely.
to different, I'd like to see how that
Yeah,
is an
and I can think
option
of
for
some
me.
things if you want to reach, I don't know if you're in I forget if you're Kingston region.
Yeah, I'm in Sydenham.
Okay. Okay, reach out to me. I would love to just maybe even just do a 1 hour with you, because that we can come up with some thoughts, and they're already bubbling. But I will get off track. So that can happen to me so easily. Okay, I love this. Great question, Anne. Let's flip the coin, because we were talking about what has been successful for you. Let's flip the other side. When was a time maybe that either you attended, and we won't give names. Let's not give away, or let's not like throw people under the bus here, because God bless them for trying, right? But sometimes things go sideways, and we've seen it, and in our own situations, and I would certainly love to hear those examples of where you do a workshop and you're like, it's crickets, and then you go, oh, that was the thing that I messed up. Like, let's share that here, because can we maybe save someone else from going down that road? Cheyenne, what was one of those experiences for you? The hands are just flying up all of a sudden.
We're so good at this part.
Right?
I know quite a few of you have been in my workshops. Yeah. Way too much information, just like constant stream of information. And then people leave and they're like, I'm gonna have to process that for another week. Maybe I'll reach out to you in like a month when I actually get that off my brain.
Yeah. And I had that feedback too. Like, that was probably, several years ago. Actually, it was a WE-CAN member who I will not name, but she's like, Kerry, I think that was a lot. That was a lot for, and I was like, oh, yes. So, to even take that feedback, right? We have to take that feedback and don't discount it as, oh, they weren't. No. Listen to what they're saying. And as I always say, take the best, leave the rest. Like, you can't do everybody's, but, is there a nugget there? Jade, over to you.
Yeah, mine is very similar to Cheyenne's. I feel like you want to provide so much value that you give too much information. And then alongside that piece, I would then add in not enough invitations to speak, because people really perceive communication as positive and good when they get the opportunity to contribute. So I think I have missed opportunities that way of inviting people into the conversation.
So true. I love that. I call that sage on the stage versus guide on the side. Like, that's how I think of that. It's like, we don't always, and it takes the pressure off us as that workshop leader. Like, I think Shauna mentioned, like, she said, I only do 30 minutes of content, and then the rest is discussion. And Victoria mentioned as well. I love that. Yeah. Thanks, Jade. Erica, over to you. Maybe something that did not go well. What was that for you? Or others?
I've only done one workshop myself, so this is just as a workshop attendee that I've been to. Nothing from WE-CAN, but when the workshop seems to be sort of dancing around what you need to know, but not giving you anything real or practical.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay for, I love the idea of giving something, a tool, giving real knowledge, giving a win. But the ones that don't are so frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially since you booked off time to be there for this. Don't set that expectation and then bait and switch. That's not good. That's not good protocol. There's a real fine line. Joy, thank you for that. Joy, over to you.
Yes, I have flopped so many times, especially when I started. Now I run workshops. Yeah, I run workshops twice every month, so I'm getting better. So when I have flopped, I realized it had to do with what I was thinking before the workshop. I didn't feel like I stepped up in my I want to say my power, in my knowledge, knowing I can help people. So I would always get in my head. I was always afraid, especially when you have people in the room who are well more knowledgeable than you, like doctors. I would have like 4 doctors on the call, and then I'll get in my head and I'll doubt myself. And so when I did the inner work to kind of understand that, yes, it doesn't matter if they are doctors, I have something that can be of value to them, then I would show up differently and then the transformation would happen. So I would say be 100% sure that you can help. When you show up with conviction, with joy and excitement, that's what makes the workshop successful.
Ooh, that is gold mic drop right there. I love it. That's the thing. We get in our own head so often. You're here, yeah, you're getting lots of amens, hallelujahs in the Zoom chat there. Absolutely. Thanks, Joy. Lisa, over to you. What's something that maybe you've seen that hasn't gone well?
So, and it's the same thing every sourdough class that I do, bread and pizza. It's a lot of information. It's a 5-hour class. There's nothing that I can do about it. I need to give you the information in order so you can go home and be able to make sourdough. So what I have done, and I'm the only teacher in Ontario who does that, is I offer them call me anytime. So I do coaching, and I do coaching over email and over text, like show me pictures of where you are, what's going on, show me your flops, and then we brainstorm how to get out of it. So that's kind of just that extra, and not everybody takes me up on it. There's a few people who come out and go, oh my God, this looks like a lot of work. I'm not going to do it again. And I can just tell. But the other ones, they will, write me and just say, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. So I offer a little bit of that and more hands-on. I've tried to look at just giving bread, but then we'd be all standing around twiddling our thumbs while the bread is rising up. So I still need to add that second recipe in there. So anyways, that's it. I let them call me anytime.
But I love that. And tell the people how many people are in your Facebook group, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm almost at 29,000.
Right. So it's working. Let's just put it out there that this is working, this relationship. Call me, or I mean, like I don't know, that scares me a little bit to call me, but you have to be in that, have that mechanism.
They don't call me. They don't. That's a separate group. Yeah, no.
Okay, good.
These are people. I get 8 people in my class. Those are the ones I say, if you're struggling, let me know. So only the people that attend my class. Of course,
the ones that are in that class. Oh, and there's only 8, so that's good. That's manageable. That's nice.
Yeah.
And I'm this about me. I'm like such a planner. I'd be like, up to this date. Call me up to this date, and then my new class starts, so they're not all piling. But I love what you're doing. I love that. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing that. That's great insight. Wendy, over to you. Something that maybe fell flat in a workshop that you attended or held.
So I used to do education for the Alzheimer's Society. So I'll just kind of speak to that and in attendance. When you let someone take over the conversation, I think as the presenter or as the, facilitator, you have to have ways to gently move people along, because people have stories that they want to tell, and it's wonderful to hear those stories. But sometimes,
I call it classroom management. It sort of becomes classroom management skills, but and I love that, Wendy, that you said that. And if you'll recall at the beginning of this session, I kind of set expectations, which were raise your hand 2 minutes, right? If you don't set expectations, people will go into it like, ooh, let's just, so I think that it's a small thing to do, but it is something. Shauna, go ahead, and then we're going to go to the next question. This is all juicy, though. I love it. Shauna, go ahead.
Yeah. 2 things that drive me crazy are when you go into a workshop expecting to learn and it becomes very little bit of education and this is my thing that I can sell you. And you're like, I didn't learn anything I can take away other than I could buy your thing.
Yes.
The thing that drives me crazy and it's kind of been addressed in the chat, when somebody reads their slides and they are very monotone, there's no energy, they're not excited about the thing that they're teaching about.
No. So the way that the actual presentation, the delivery, that's the word, really, the delivery of the content, which is something that really, I mean, do you have a solution or anyone wants to, because this is key, right? that there be energy. And here's the thing with Zoom, you gotta ramp it up. Like right now, if I were talking to you and you were across the desk from me, you'd be like, just tone it down, lady, right? But on Zoom, you look at me, right? You gotta be a little bit bigger than your regular self just to keep people engaged. So yeah, I mean, maybe use the Zoom chat if anybody has thoughts for that, but that is key. I love that. Emily, over to you to wrap this up, and then we'll segue into the next one.
Hi. I think the hardest thing for me is like I was just talking about it a bit in the chat, is like addressing the different learning styles of the participants, because what I think is fun and cool might not be what they need. So it's like every evaluation I've had has been good, yay. But they're always like more talking, less talking, more doing stuff, less doing stuff. And I'm like,
Yes.
it's like
I
just
think, and
that
this goes
perfect
back
blend,
to,
you know?
I think this goes back to what someone had talked about, just being our authentic self, because we can try to fold ourselves or become a pretzel, and it just, in the end, it will be ridiculous, right? So I think that there's a million places they could, or workshops they could probably attend on a very similar topic. If they want to come to you, just be you and deliver it the way you would, with the caveat of some of the tips we're talking about today. But ultimately, I think be you and deliver it the way which is natural to you, maybe with some training, like a little bit of coaching if that's necessary. Very good point, though. Thanks, Emily. So I want to segue into this, which we already started to talk about a bit, which is setting expectations. So what we've already heard is that some people like go in, I think Shauna was saying, expecting to learn, but actually she was sold to. And so how do we set expectations? And at what point and in what ways do you make sure that people come and they're not shocked when you are offering them something? Like we're talking about successful conversion here. So, and I'm not at all a proponent of selling for 75% of your talk, nothing like that. What is the way we can I'm talking about setting up expectations maybe before they even arrive in that session. Kat, kick it off for us, and then we'll go to Joy.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people really leaning into the idea of being authentic and transparent, and they're saying right up front that at the end of this, if you stay to the end, they were going to have an offer for you. And the other thing is, I'm seeing a lot that if they didn't say that at the beginning, they'll say, okay, now I'm going to, give you an offer. So if you want to pop off, feel free, no harm done, blah, blah, blah. So that's
Yeah.
a couple ways.
Nice wording. Yeah, just like be a human. Be a human. Tell us. Okay, love it, Kat. Thanks. Joy, over to you.
Yeah, so I was going to say the same thing. Just to add to that, I also have a nurture sequence behind my signups. So everybody that signs up goes into my email list, and I design a 7-day nurture sequence where I introduce them to me. So when they come on the call, they already know what I do. I share testimonials, like I said, inside of the email sequence. So that is not a shock to them when I then sell. So also at the beginning on my slide, I tell them, I'm going to give you tons of value. And then if you stay at the end, if you are interested, I'll give you more information on how I can support you further.
Brilliant.
So
Yeah, I love that
starts
model.
now.
I love that model. Joy, let me ask you something more because somebody's wondering this as well. Tell us more about the how you get them into the sequence. So is it on the sign up form? Like, what is the platform? Is it Eventbrite that you use? Is it something else? And just logistically, can you just talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I use Eventbrite, and it's been the best thing for my business. So anybody here, just post your events on Eventbrite. It's amazing. And so when they sign up on Eventbrite, at the end, there's a section in Eventbrite where you give more information. And so they get an email from Eventbrite, they have the ticket, and at the bottom is my message, which is, if you want to be in the room, you have to sign up here. So there is a link to sign up, even though they've already signed up. And then on that sign up, I use Go High Level, if you're familiar with Go High Level. And so they sign up on my Go High Level page, and automatically, I set up the automation in the back end, but they go through the automation sequence is set up automatically, and
That's
that's how they
useful.
get
Just
things.
like somebody like, wait a minute, how did we jump from that? That's really useful to know the same name as some of those platforms. We'll come back to platforms, but I wanted to just grab that while you were mentioning. Brilliant. I love that. And so that's how she sets that expectation. So people aren't in the world like, whoa, what are you selling all of a sudden? Well, we told you. And if you're transparent and open, I think that makes sense. Thanks, Joy. Cheyenne, over to you.
To echo a lot of what Joy said, I think it's really important you understand where the workshop lands in your customer client journey. When we get that ick initially, it's probably because it's the first time we're really seeing someone. We're just looking to learn and gather information and then they sell. Whereas if you're further along as a client or customer and someone doesn't sell, I've done this where I don't sell on my workshop. People are like, Cheyenne, I want to know how to actually work with you. To like stop teaching me and sell to me. So I think mapping your workshop out on your client journey, and then if you have it flowing correctly, they'll be ready to hear a sales pitch. They'll be looking to hear it.
I think that's brilliant. And you do it so naturally, but I didn't mention this myself, but one of the biggest mistakes I've seen done in workshops, so a couple questions ago, was you give the whole workshop and you don't make an offer. Like, and it was a lead generation workshop. How many of, and sometimes we're like, we just don't do it because we're like, I don't want, like you said, the ick factor. There's an ick factor because we've experienced it, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong to sell. And certainly the way that we set it up, I think matters. But I think that has been a mistake that I've seen. And it's funny because for some people, I actually gone like I've coached people, and then I'm like, I'm going to go to the workshop and sit in and give you feedback. I'm like, girl, you never actually made the offer, and they're like, I didn't. I'm like, no, and even like not having a contact slide at the end, just saying thank you, but tell us your email, tell us your website. Like it's a small thing. So it might be helpful for some of you folks if you're hosting a workshop, get someone like to come and attend who can just give feedback. And I'm not saying it's got to be me. I can't go to all the workshops, but like somebody that you trust to come and say, can you just give me some feedback on that or record it and send them a recording? Just a thought there. Now, there was a question I think Yashi asked in the chat, which I actually want to go there next, which is this is a question a lot of people have. How do I even get people to come to my workshop? And we're now melding into a little bit of marketing also, obviously. But this is useful. So tell us, for you folks who are filling up your workshops, who are having success, because before we can convert people, we have to get them into the workshop. Let's be honest. Any thoughts around getting people into the workshop? Joey, we'll start with you, and then Jade after that. I saw your hand.
Yes. So my secret is Eventbrite, and I do the promo, just $2 a day, and Eventbrite bumps your workshop to the top. So that's how I feel my workshops. Also, the email sequence I talked about is pumping them to be excited to show up. And I give them a free gift just for attending. So that's how I fill my room. So hopefully you have ideas from what I just shared.
Tell us about that gift. What's the gift for attending? Now I want to know. Or is it a secret?
Yeah, so I call mine my 10K months blueprint. So I give them my exact blueprint for getting to 10K every single month. And it's so detailed that I pump them up inside of the email sequence. So they are so excited to come just to get that free gift.
They're not
And you
missing
can
it.
use,
Yeah.
yeah, so you can use ChatGPT. If you prompt ChatGPT and say, I want people to be pumped to come to my workshop, give me an email sequence. Like all of my email sequence is written by ChatGPT. It also gives me ideas for the free gift as well.
Brilliant. And so what we're hearing as well is like, don't just let Eventbrite do the job for you. Like, you'll know, I've done this like for 5.5 years now. It's kind of crazy, but you notice you got a personal email from me, like with the link. It wasn't from, well, you probably got something from Eventbrite too. But first of all, I don't trust Eventbrite. Sometimes it goes awry and people don't get the link. Like, I can't tell you how many times that happens. So for me, like, I hugely like, I love Eventbrite because remember, Eventbrite is a search engine. It's almost like Google. It's the event search engine. People will type in workshops, make my workshops better, Kingston, like, because you can put a geography, because very often people want to do that. And so that's brilliant. So people are looking. So if you're not on Eventbrite, you're missing a search engine. The other thing is that people can like your page on Eventbrite. So like, I don't know how many hundreds of people now automatically, of their own volition, automatically get anytime that WE-CAN posts a workshop, they get a notification, or you get a notification because you signed up. You're not getting my newsletter, but you get from Eventbrite, oh, did you know WE-CAN has a new workshop? I mean, it's just marketing in a box. Like, it's brilliant. And yes, there's a fee for Eventbrite. It used to be free, but now it's a very reasonable cost. It's 21.99, I think, Canadian a month that we pay. And that's, I think, basically the going rate. So if I'm wrong, just put that in the Zoom chat, but that's what we pay. And yeah, I just wanted to say that about Eventbrite as well. Jade, you had your physical hand up, and then we'll go to Susan, who has her reaction hand up.
I was going to say, I lean into my strength of collaboration. I'm big on collaborating with other organizations that already have an audience that are hyped up, waiting, and looking for information. And I find that saves me so much time because I'm building a relationship with one individual who then puts me in front of 500 people. So that helps me a lot in terms of that.
So, I mean, and it's not sneaky. I was going to say the word sneaky. Well,
it's so sneaky.
It's there, but it's like it's strategic. Let's use that word. To, like, if you announce a workshop, like, you can, if you announce it, let's say on Instagram, you can tag like up to 20 people. What if those were like your champions who can then share it out with their audience? So, like, we don't necessarily do that with WE-CAN, but if I was to, tag Cheyenne and Jade and Joy and Anne, like, I mean, and they're like, oh, this is cool, share. Right. Suddenly that's a very easy, totally free way, and it takes you 5 minutes to do that collaboration, even in that kind of a setting, which is key. Get in front of other people's audiences. I love that. And thank you. Someone in the Zoom chat noted that Eventbrite is free if you have, I think, 25 attendees or fewer at your workshop. Thank you. Very good point. The reason we pay is because we usually are over that. But that's a really great point. Cheyenne, Susan.
Yep, I took my lower hand thing already. I love the stuff that I'm hearing. I think it's so important. And I use a multi-prong. I think everyone probably does that, but starting with Eventbrite. And you taught me about how to do individual DMing. So I posted on, say, Facebook, Insta, those kinds of things. And then I privately DM people with a little flyer that I make on Canva. And I also create a video of around 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and I upload that about the event, which seems to help. And Eventbrite likes that too. And I can post that on different social media things. And then making sure my website has it up. And this last time I did it at the top of my website. And then I also did hands out. I walked around downtown and I stapled
Look at
things
you,
and
old
handed
school.
them
I love
out.
it.
And that was, I don't think you get much from that. So the two people that I don't know, I'm curious. I want to find out from them where they heard about it, because I know everyone else. And of course, my newsletter, when I send out my newsletter, that's when I get most of the people there, repeat customers. And I know Cheyenne has taught me a lot about that, making sure that you kind of keep creating that, coming back again and again. And so have you. So I think over time, you have both kind of taught me how to keep kind of doing a multitude, and then keep, it's the people who have already come once who are my people. And so keep creating things that they want to come to.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Susan, now you can teach a masterclass on this. And like, I'm thinking a couple years ago, you're like, how do I use Eventbrite? So I love it. You mentioned the DMs, which I think that, now let's just clarify, she's not sending to strangers. These are people who have had some, she knows them. It's just, dropping that. You mentioned video in the Eventbrite. I was also just going to mention audio. When you send a DM, sometimes I've been like, and I'll use Wendy. I haven't sent it to Wendy, but for my business outside of Queens, it might be, hey, Wendy, I thought you might be interested in this workshop. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. I think this is perfect for you. Check it out. It's free. Here's the link, right? But adding that audio, a little voice message, really stands out for people sometimes. And so I've found a lot of success with audio messages, which you can do for absolute free in your DMs on Instagram.
Always coming up with new stuff, Kerry.
Well, you know what? Someone did it for me. They must have done it. And I'm like, I'm going to do that too. Like, so that's how I learned, right? Thank you, Susan, though. Cheyenne, I think you had your hand up as well.
Susan, I'm so excited for your retreat, and like, congratulations. I know how hard you've worked at that. As a few people have pointed out, When I talk about this, I always talk about it from three prongs: buy, borrow, or build. Buying is putting advertisement behind it, advertisement money. Usually not what we're going to go into. Borrowing, which is what Jade was talking about, that's my preferred strategy as well. Finding people who have built those audiences and making it a win-win that you get in front of them. I have a full year collaboration with my small business center. They're doing all the marketing for the workshops. I show up and deliver. It's win-win. And then building is the other one that I think we should always be doing, which is a lot what Susan was referencing. Always build your own audience and keep connecting and keep nurturing with them. They will become the most consistent people who attend.
Love that. Yeah, brilliant, as always. And I mean, hey, Joy mentioned $2 though to boast that. I mean, honestly, Joy, that was kind of news. I've never paid on Eventbrite. I think that is it's a reason $2 a day. I mean, that's not bad when we're looking at advertising budgets, right? So that buy, is reasonable for small business owners, I think, when we're looking at that type of a thing. I love it. Okay, brilliant advice. Let me go to the final question. And by the way, I would invite anybody now in the Zoom chat, if you have an upcoming workshop and you want to put that down there, I mean, hey, let people know. I don't know, Ashley, I see your question. I don't know which workshops you're referring to. Maybe just clarify that. Maybe I missed a Zoom. I'm just kind of randomly seeing questions pop up. My question is the follow-up piece. So after the workshop, does anyone do follow up? And I heard already, maybe some of you do, because sometimes we're like, okay, I do the workshop, I put the call to action there, and now I cross my fingers and I wait. Or does anybody do follow-up after the workshop? What happens after the workshop? Obviously, I'm hinting at maybe something should happen after the workshop. What's going on for people? Joy, we'll start with you.
Yes, I wanted to quickly answer Ashley's question. She's asking if the event will be free or paid. So all of my events are free, but if you wanted to make it paid, you have more high quality people attend, but you have fewer people. So it depends on your marketing goals. I love to have mine free, have more people come, and
Volume.
I've tested both free and paid. For me, free works fine. So Ashley, that's the answer to your question. So how I actually follow up, and I follow up before the event itself by building in nurture sequence. So remember I told you about the nurture sequence. Once the event ends, they get emails telling them limited time offer, doors close on Sunday. If you want to join, you have to join now.
So there's an email sequence after as well. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, folks. And she gave you some of the hints as to the platform she used, which was Go High Level. And so check that out. Shauna, over to you.
Yes, I'm following up after. Typically, I'm sending an email, either it's later that day, depending on what time of day it was, or the next day, thanking everyone for coming. I'm always asking for feedback because I don't know how else to improve unless someone tells me. And sometimes there's maybe a question, like I'll have it pre-built, and sometimes I'll go in and edit it if there's a question that I'm suddenly getting from a lot of people by email or someone stayed after. I'll address that. But then, with the offer, I am revisiting it because usually there was a time limit on it. And sometimes people need a reminder that, hey, this is where the link is, especially if we were in person and they didn't take their phone out or whatever, so they can have that. If it's in person, most people want the slide deck, even though I don't have everything on there. And if it's virtual, I'll send the recording out. So there is usually at least 2, 3, 4 emails going out after.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, thank you for attending, and I love what you signaled within 24 hours. Like, it's no point in doing it 2 or 3 weeks later, folks, because the momentum is gone, right? We want that momentum, the energy, the excitement they felt in your workshop before it wanes, because then we're just like squirrels and we're distracted by all the things. Thank you, Shauna. Brilliant. Cheyenne.
To completely counter what you just said. And I'm in the B2B space, so
Please do.
sales cycles are incredibly long. And because I'm a marketer, trust takes a long time to build. So I play the long game. I just did a workshop in person for my chamber for Small Business Week. I made them do work, which I do a lot in my workshops, and they committed to a date where they would come back to it, and they filled out a Google form. So I had my assistant go in, record all the dates they said they go back to it, and we have an email to go out to them the week they're going back to it with follow-up resources, a podcast series that has to do with what we worked on, and an invitation to book a 30-minute call to chat with me. So that's my long form of follow-up.
But it's strategic and it's logical. I'm talking about like, oh, I forgot to follow up. Now I'm going to follow up 3 weeks. No. This is, you've built that expectation and that conversation into it, and it's thoughtful in the way that you've approached it. So yeah, no, I don't think it was entirely counter, but I love new ideas like that. Okay, anyone else follow up? Or maybe you've seen some cool ways people have followed up with you after a workshop. Someone had mentioned doing a survey even, like, what did you get out of the workshops? Now, we know that people, it's pretty low, how people, like I find very low in terms of people replying to surveys, but, anything else? Let's just leave that. We're almost at the end, guys. This hour has flown by. We have 5 minutes left. Okay. Seeing none, let me just open up to one final question there might be from the group. Any question that maybe you were hoping would be addressed here today, and we'll try to get to it as long as it's within the domain of creating workshops that convert. A final question maybe that would be helpful to have us answer, or go ahead. Erica, what is it? Would love to hear.
Burning question is finding topics that people are interested in. And
good one.
Yeah, like as a writer, I feel like for me, writing has always come easily, and I don't know what people are struggling with. And I would love to know, like, how do you do your market research? How do you come up with ideas?
Rapid fire. Let's get quick. So we said before 2 minutes, now it's more like 30 seconds. Joy and then Cheyenne.
Yes, so I train my ChatGPT with my offer, my target audience, what my target audience is struggling with. And so the persona of my target audience is already built inside of my ChatGPT, and it just spins out content for me. And I get feedback from people, and they're like, this is the best workshop. I'm like, thank ChatGPT.
Let's use some free resources available to us. So thank you, Joy. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for being honest about that. Like, well, I'm just brilliant. No, actually, I use ChatGPT. Good. I love it. Cheyenne, over to you. You are brilliant, by the way, but you're brilliant because you use tools. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
Yes, girl.
Mythbusters, to create that problem solution awareness, there's a paradigm shift. So identify what is it people are believing that's stopping them from moving to a solution, and wrap a workshop around that.
Ooh, good. I love it. Someone else. I'll just slide in while I'm watching for hands. I am always writing down questions that people have about what it is that I do. I'm like, oh, there's a topic for a workshop. There's a topic for a workshop, right? And you can use ChatGPT to kind of massage the name. And please never discount the name, the importance of the name of the workshop. It's it's the marketing that will, it's kind of like the email subject line. If they don't click, you can't get to them. So spend time. I'm happy to work with anyone on that one-on-one. If you're a WE-CAN client in the Kingston region, Kingston, Belleville, Prince Edward County, we cover all that. We can, brainstorm. If it's not with me, maybe with someone else. Very kind. I also use ChatGPT. But yeah, no, I love it. Somebody else with maybe a thought on that. Sorry, Jade, go ahead. Yours is the last comment, just to give that expectation.
I was just going to say, to get ideas, like ChatGPT is fantastic and great. The old school way of doing it too would be to go into your Google search and type in like problems writers are having with, and then just stop and see what it suggests, because it's going to pull up things that people are actually searching for in Google. So depending on who your audience is, if you just want to cross-check what ChatGPT gives you as well with something else, that's a good way to get some ideas too.
Brilliant. Brilliant all around. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to those who listened. to those who asked questions, and of course, those who participated, because this would not have been the same without all of you. My call to action is that if you're in our region, we would love to have you become a client. Everything we do is absolutely free. It's fully funded by Queen's University, and you do not have to be a student or in any way associated with Queen's to benefit from our services. Reach out to me. You have my email because I sent you multiple emails about this workshop today, I'm sure. And by the way, pass it on to a friend if you know. Now, if you are outside the Kingston, etc. region, you can always attend our virtual cafes and our online workshops. That's always free and accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world. Thank you. My last call to action is have a fantastic day. Go and just celebrate your brilliance. Take a walk, get away from your Zoom screen for a few minutes and get the juices flowing. It has been an absolute honor to have you with us today. We'll see you hopefully at the next workshop. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.